And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thomson.
100% agree.
And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Flex harder, baby. Maybe something will actually pop out. No, it's not. It's just old.
Just my
my
eyeballs.
God. What's up, everyone? It is the Weighing In podcast. And my man Josh Thompson is trying to flex. And nothing is happening. It's just,
No, it was a little like kind of like turtleneck of a piece of poop kind of came through the ass a little bit as I was giving the flex. It was like giving the, what do they call it? Like the little meerkat, little turtle. It was like peeking out a tiny bit. You know how meerkats kind of poke their heads out of holes? Yeah. Little mongoose going on.
Little groundhog.
Yeah. He was peeking out.
Come right
I
back.
just feel how shredded I am right now. I'm
Shredded.
shredded. I got to start running though.
Stop. Running doesn't make you shredded.
Running
makes you a runner.
Yeah, that's okay though. It's okay.
That's
Dave
all.
looks
I
pretty
didn't say
good. He's
there's
been
anything wrong
running
with
for
it.
a while now.
Yeah.
Dave's been running for about what?
2 years.
2 years now? Yeah, 2 years.
Every day.
Yeah, there's some commitment, man. I went down to stay with Dave for a weekend, and he still got up and ran a little bit here and there.
Dave's
Every
playing
day?
soccer too, right?
It wasn't as
Dave, are you not playing soccer?
Yeah, every weekend.
I mean,
There you
well,
go.
he's
No,
playing with
don't
a bunch
you
of
start-
40-year-olds.
Hey, Dave,
Calm down.
you know what? I heard that Miami is actually considering signing Podcast Dave
Right?
to play right along Lionel Messi.
Yep. That's right.
You know, we're going to get taken down for misinformation. YouTube has that shit, okay? There's some fact checkers, some
Hey,
independent
dude,
fact
hold
checkers
on.
around here.
Have you watched any of what has gone on with Inter Miami and Lionel Messi signing with them, and then the other guys that have
No.
come over? You know nothing
No.
about this?
No.
My God.
No, what is it?
Oh my God. First it
Talk
was
to me.
Lionel. Well, okay. Who owns
It's
Inter
Lionel
Miami?
Messi, by the way, not Lionel. Not like Lionel Richie. It's
No, it's
Lionel
Leo.
Messi. Lionel.
Lionel.
There you go, Lionel Messi.
Okay, so who
Yes, it
owns?
is.
Who
It's not
owns?
Lionel. It's not Lionel
Will you
Messi.
shut up and listen? I'm asking you a question. Who owns Inter Miami?
Beats the shit out of me. I don't know.
David Beckham.
He's a partner, right?
He's partner-
I don't know.
he's part
is he the
owner in
main- Is he the main owner though?
He's part owner and he's running it. He's the one that got Messi to come.
Yeah,
and
I
then
did know that.
Then he's got a couple of his prior, playing partners with him. Buscemi is another
Buscemi.
one. No, it's not Buscemi. That's like the fucking fighter. It's Buscemi.
Oh yeah, that's right. Buscemi. Okay. I was thinking Buscemi. I'm like,
Sergio Buscemi.
Uh-huh.
And then there's another one. What the hell's his name? I want to say George. I can't remember. But and then they also got they've got that team playing. The guy who was the coach, Tata, who was the coach of the Argentinian team and was Messi's coach. He's now the coach there.
Yeah.
They have not lost since he's been there, dude. They have not lost. No. The MSL started this whole thing of having league cups and things during the season.
MLS.
That's what I said. MLS.
MSL.
Is that what I said? MLS. They were the team in last place when he
Yes, they
came,
were.
and they just won the League Cup.
Yes.
Dude,
I mean,
kind of shows there are
there's
levels.
Yes.
There are levels.
There's levels to this.
There are levels to this.
Well, look, I just watched an interview with Carly Lloyd, and she was just talking about how the development of our youth here in the States is just trash. And I got to be honest, a lot of it has to do with the amount of money that we take away from our children and developing them in terms of schools, taking sports out of schools, taking arts and crafts, taking body shop, all those things that used to be in schools.
Metal, wood shop, all the good things.
Yeah, all those stuff that used to be in schools, it's all gone now.
Oh, yeah.
Sure
Because
you're
you
gonna find
want to know
some-
why?
you're gonna find
Because
some
they want
schools.
to teach you how to be a poof. You have to be
You mean a fuff? A fucked
a
up foot?
fuff. There you go, a fuff. The fuff.
No, I really believe. Look, the amount of money that we have taken away from our schools to develop, whether it's a trade with electricians, wood shop, or whatever it is. It could be anything. It could be PE, even PEs now. In some of the schools, it's only 2 days a week. What the fuck are we doing? Anyways, I can go on all day about this garbage. I don't want to get distracted because we've got a huge main event going on this weekend, and
And PE is involved.
Yeah, PE is involved. It's called working out. It's called getting your ass in shape, getting to the gym, doing some work. And both of these guys, all of these fighters on this card. But look, there's a lot of drama going on too this week. You got Conor calling out Canelo Alvarez. What the hell is going on?
Please.
It's remarkable.
Conor also said that the Dylan Danis boxing exhibition was one of the greatest exhibitions ever.
He said he thought Dylan did well. I mean,
okay. Did he? Here. Hold on. Let me take out the trash here.
John. No, John, here's the thing. Look, in no way am I defending what we saw was just trash. Okay. Trash. There's no way. I'm not defending that.
Exactly. In fact, I could pull up an actual text from Josh Thomson to John McCarthy where it says this is trash with an emoji of a trash can.
It was so bad.
I was
like, man, I'm just glad I didn't pay for it. But it was one of those things where like you're watching and just trying to absorb really like $80, like, or whatever it was.
Was it
$60? It was $60, whatever. Really?
$60. Yeah, $60.
I mean, 50, I wonder. 59. Look, they said this thing sold 1 point something. Yeah, let's not get into that. But look, there's all the drama with the pay-per-view numbers too. It blew up and all these things. We'll talk about that later. But look, people came here to talk about one thing. They wanted to listen to us talk about, guess what? The main event this weekend for UFC. My boy Islam defending his title again against you know who, Mr. fucking Big Balls.
Mr. Big Balls. I'm glad you put it that way.
Got a sack on
Set
him.
of fucking
Holy
brass
shit.
Balls.
People said he fucking came with a wheelbarrow. I said, fuck
They
no,
clank,
a dump
dude.
truck. He's got a dump truck. He's got just nuts fucking hanging and dragging on the ground. This guy's, man, he's a stud. The one thing I will take away from this, though, is leading into this fight, he's made it very clear in a lot of the interviews. He's like, everything is working against Islam. He's like, I have nothing to lose. He's like, all the pressure's on him. We're fighting him in Abu Dhabi. I said we would do it. I told him, in the last fight while we were in the cage, we'll do it again, and perhaps maybe in Abu Dhabi is what Islam said. And Volk said, yeah, well, guess what? It's fucking here and it's happening. But the only difference is, though, John, is that, look, in the first fight, he was so meticulous about defending the takedowns, how he got up, the wrist control, all of those things. In this fight, him going away because of the shoulder surgery. I think he had shoulder surgery. He also had hand surgery. Was it one of the two?
Elbow.
I thought he had shoulder surgery. Okay,
no, he broke his hand.
Elbow. Okay, so he had a surgery. Comes back. How much training has he been able to do? I know we talked about this last week. The ability to go ahead and just push it to the side. When I fought Kawajiri, I had no cares in the world. I knew I was getting paid a lot of money. Came in on 10 days notice. All of those things, you feel like you can just fight free. There's no pressure on you whatsoever. With him, he knows, he's experienced the power, he's experienced the speed, he's experienced, the height, the size, the body frame, he's experienced the strength, which he said wasn't strong, all of those things. He knows what to expect. The feeling out process is over. I've spent 25 minutes in the cage with this guy. I know exactly what to expect. He believes, and I honestly believe he's going to come out just careless, without a care in the world. And that's what scares me. That's what scares me the most about this fight. This fight is a lot more of a threat than the first fight was, because he knows, okay, if I can stop a takedown or two and I just go ahead and let my hands go, there's a good chance I could clip him. I could rock him. I could get him in
put
trouble.
Him on his butt.
And I'm faster. I'm these things. Look, it's hard to deal with someone who is shorter and stockier and faster. It's hard. And so when I'm sitting here having this conversation with you about this fight, I'm more nervous for this fight than I was the first one.
All right, let me ask you this. I'm going to put you in a situation. I'll do the same thing. I want you to give me, what does Volkanovski have to do different in this fight that's going to make him the winner, and what is it that Makhachev needs to do differently to make it an easier fight? What does each guy have to do to get the win? Let's hear it.
Okay, I get that.
I think that's pretty easy.
With Volk, is that when he gets into that range, he's got to go. He's the faster fighter. He's got to let his hands go, and he's got to throw a little bit more caution to the wind. He's got to make Islam fight at a pace that he's not used to fighting at. In the first fight, he didn't do that as much. And that's why in the 5th round, and a lot of it, I think, had to do with the rehydration period. Didn't have the full 36, 38 hours, whatever it was to rehydrate. I think some of that's going to play a factor.
Sure it is.
That played a factor in the last fight, which won't be as much of a factor in this fight. Alexander Volkanovski needs to pull the trigger, needs to let the hands go inside. He's got to go with the kicks. He's got to set up his kicks with his hands. Use that speed. That little tiny body is going to be hard to grab and control and hold down. Everyone that I've ever trained with that was a little bit smaller than me, that was stumpy like that.
Fire
Justin
plug
Wilcox,
body.
Yeah, and a fire plug body. And you know that even though it's a 5-round fight, I believe that he has a good 3.5 rounds in him. I think he can fight 3 rounds at a good hard pace.
I think he can fight 5. It's just part of who he is.
I know, I get that. I get what you're saying, but it's going to be hard to go 5 with a bigger body. I think he's going to have a harder time.
Could.
If this was at 45, I'd say all day long. He's used to dealing with those guys. He's used to dealing with the speed of those guys, the strength of those guys. This is a bigger body. It's going to be, and body frame. By the time they actually weigh in, and I know they're going to weigh the same. They did last fight. This time though, Volk's got to pull the trigger, let it all go. Look, Islam. He doesn't have to do anything different.
Oh, I think this does.
Fight, I don't think he does, and let me explain to you why.
Okay, go ahead.
It's because Volkanovski is not going to be the same fighter. What Islam needs to do is he needs to wrestle him as much as possible and control the top position a lot better. Get to the back. Get to the. Don't be afraid to attack submissions. Get back up to your feet if you need to. But I think he's got to be very aggressive on controlling that top position. And not so much like there was moments in the first fight where he got the control and then he focused on the striking and then Volk was able to get up. No, he needs to, in this first 2 rounds, he needs to hang on him. He needs to slow him down, really make him use his strength, use everything in his body to keep himself on the feet. Because I think as you start zapping that energy, doesn't matter how, like you said, he's got 3 rounds in him, but he doesn't have 4 and 5. And as one little mistake we found out, like in the first fight, you start making mistakes as the fight goes on. But now you didn't have a full camp. Islam does the same thing, and I think he gets him out of there. I think he does. But like I said, I'm dangerous though, because Alexander Volkanovski doesn't have anything to lose. He knows he's coming in on last minute. He can let the hands go. He can just be, hey, if I get taken down, I believe in my ability to get up. I believe in my ability to go ahead and attack some submissions to threaten you, to release off of me so I can get back to my feet. He's really fast and really good at getting back to his feet. I don't think Islam needs to change too much. I think Volk just needs to pull the trigger more. That's really what it comes down to.
Pull the trigger. I'll give you. He does. He needs to establish that I'm going to come in at times that you're not even expecting it. And I think you have felt the grappling with him. Believe in yourself. You know that you can grapple with him. You know that you can be in those positions to utilize. He's very good in the clinch with dirty boxing, with elbow strikes. He exits very well, and you need to be in those situations at times with Makhachev, in my opinion, to be successful, because it's going to make Makhachev hesitate. If you're Makhachev, I look at it for the most part. You look at Volkanovski switches back and forth, southpaw, but he's an orthodox fighter who will switch to southpaw. He normally starts off in that orthodox position, while Makhachev, he's a southpaw. Mm-hmm. But the kick that he uses to the body, that's what he needs to just emphasize and just keep going back at it, because you want to punch a hole in that gas tank of Volkanovski based upon the fact you're hoping that he hasn't had all that time to get himself, prepared. And so that left kick that he has, because he's good with it. Like if you're going to look at speed, what's that?
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah,
that left kick is going to be money.
That left kick is super important in this fight. If he establishes that and is able to punch a hole into the body of Volkanovski, it's going to slow Volkanovski down completely throughout the fight in every range. And so I think those are the things you want to. I agree with you. If Makhachev gets into a takedown situation, hang on him. Put pressure on him. Squeeze him. Make him have to work to get himself into those, and then return him to the mat. Make it to where he works hard and gets no benefit out of it. And those are really, you take a look at both things. it's really not that big a thing, but it can play big dividends in the fight for each of the fighters. And I agree. I think that Volkanovski going into this, man, let's be honest. He is in a position, I don't think he does have anything to lose. Look, he's the featherweight champ. Everyone knows he's the man there. You know, you talk about pound for pound. If he loses to Makhachev, is it going to move him at all? No, it's not going to move him. Well, I think that they're 1-2 right now. You think it's going to move? It's not going to move him. Unless maybe he got submitted in the first round or something like that. That's going to be about it. So, you know, if the fight goes on for a while, it's not going to move. So it'll be a loss on his record. He's already got a loss on his record. What is there to lose? Just go hang it out, you know, and go against the guy that everyone looks at as the number one guy there is, you know, in the world at that weight class. Okay, you know, let's see what happens. I think it's the perfect scenario, and it is, no matter what. It was in Perth, Australia, the first time for Volkanovski, and it's kind of like a home game for Islam, where it is in on Yaz Island stuff, and that's okay because, again, you're going in. It's, you know, the people aren't going to be rooting for you. So what? It's good. I got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
Great
nothing
fight.
to lose. I mean, nothing to lose. He's but both these guys, when you're talking about you're the best in 155, you're the best at 145, and the two of them are clashing. They've already clashed. They know each other. They've felt each other's strength. They've felt each other's speed. They felt it all. All of those things being said, though, John, when we're talking about the highest of the top tier of athletes, they're only split by what? A half a percentage, and
Not
whoever
even
had a
that,
better night that night.
0.1%.
Yeah, and this guy, Volk, is coming in with his big dump truck and balls and just going, shit, man, I got nothing to lose. Let it all hang out. Throw big shots.
Which might
If I
make him fight the best
Yes.
he's ever fought.
It might be. I actually believe it. I actually believe that it will. If he decides to really do it. Now, look, it's one thing to say I have nothing to lose and then go out there and be cautious.
Yes.
That's
saying
another
that
thing.
you're worried about losing.
Yeah. Yep. You know, and then there's another thing to go out there and be like, look, man, I got nothing to lose. And go out there and fight like it.
Yeah.
There's a difference. And Islam is, I think Islam, he's going to feel the pressure in this fight. He's like in the first fight when he fought Charles in Abu Dhabi, shit, you had thousands of people from Dagestan that came out there to watch, you know, and I don't know if there's going to be the same, but I would imagine there's probably going to be another at least, 500 people or 1,000 people that come strictly from Dagestan to watch him fight. And it's a big deal. There's a lot more pressure. We know there's more pressure when it's a hometown thing. But look, I've trained with him. I know how good he is. I mean, we just had Cain Velasquez on the show yesterday, which is going to drop coming up. And what did he say about Islam? He said, man, when I spar with him, when I train with him, he's like, sure, of course I'm not hanging on with my big body and stuff. He's like, but look, what he was a lot more sneaky than I realized on the feet.
Tricky.
How good how good his stand-up is. Everyone it's so funny because I remember going back through the not just the comments and the things that I would say about Islam coming up when he was coming up, and people would just, bro, he got knocked out by so-and-so. He got caught early.
Anybody
can get knocked out, and it can happen to anyone.
Nope.
And it's just, and it can happen happens like that too.
It's as simple as it gets, and this is what you try to tell people. All right, name me your favorite fighter. Who's the best fighter in the world? Right? Now you get the Fedors, the Anderson Silvas, the Randy Coutures, the Dan Hendersons. They've all been knocked out.
Yeah,
Just happens. It's just part of it. That's what happens.
But I look at him and I'm like, look, he's 24-1. He hasn't lost since that fight. And I don't know how you want to break it down, but his stand up, and I was like, oh, he got clipped. He got hit with a big shot, and the fight was over. Okay, I get it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I've trained with him. I know how good he is, not just on the ground. People, and that's the other thing. I had some guy on Twitter I was kind of scrolling through, and I saw Luke Thomas had posted something about why all the hate for Islam. Like, there's so many people that just don't seem to be giving him the credit he deserves. Yeah. And a lot of people were just in the comments going, well, he just wrestle fucks people. I'm like, he's finished 5 of his last 6 opponents. That's one thing. Yeah. And 2 is, realistically, he's done a lot of the work on his feet and then end up jumping to the top position and getting the finish that way also. I mean, he's so well-rounded. And when I gave this example a long time ago, people thought I was fucking crazy. To me, he's better than Khabib.
Yeah, and
At
you and I
least
have argued about that.
In the training, he's better than Khabib. But I also
Okay.
said there's two ways of looking at this. In training and in fighting, all of those things can be true. But the mental capacity or the mental capability of Khabib is
it.
just
That's what
it's
what
just-
I does. But what
it's
you're
another
but
level,
what
man.
you're trying to say is, and I think this is I'll agree with you. If you're going to go tool for tool and technique for technique, Islam has a bigger toolbox and more techniques than Khabib. He does. He does. I mean, and again, you look at the people talking. Anybody from Dagestan now is always in the shadow of Khabib, and anybody that is from Dagestan is a wrestler. But that's
is
not
not
true.
true.
It's not true at all. That's my whole point.
No.
You could take a look at his cousin Usman, who was the champion in Bellator at lightweight. That dude is anything but a wrestler. Now he can wrestle. But his stand-up is so goddamn good and so again, we're talking to Kane. He said, I haven't seen anybody technically better.
Yeah.
Okay? What does that say? And that's in the stand-up. And so
Umar's very similar to him. His brother Umar, his
absolutely.
older brother Umar, and you got that other young kid who's not related to Khabib and these guys, but Saeed Nurmagomedov.
yeah.
He's just as good on the damn feet. Just because your last name is Nurmagomedov does not make you a wrestler. And it drives me crazy to continue to hear just random people spout off on, and just that they put them all in, they basically just push them all into a box and say you're a wrestler because you're from Dagestan.
how rare.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy. But talent wise, the abilities, the most well-rounded, probably the most well-rounded fighter I've ever been around has been Islam Makhachev. The ability for grappling, wrestling, his transitions in the jiu-jitsu department, all
It's
of those
the way
things.
it's exactly what you just said. His transitioning from one element to the next is seamless. And that's what makes him dangerous. Look at his left hand down the pipe when he throws it. It's got power. It hurt Volkanovski in the first fight. Yeah. All right. He's got good stand-up. He's got good kicks. He's got great takedowns, especially his little foot trips and his sweeps.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't burn a ton of energy, when he's doing stuff. He's slick. And he's gonna have to beat that big brass balled bastard.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I mean, look, I look at Volkanovski, man. I know we've been talking about his balls all day, but I'm just going to be honest. The guy is, no matter what I say about Islam, Volkanovski deserves all the respect. Not just because he took this fight on short notice, and not just because to me, he's right there up there with Jose Aldo right now to me.
Yep.
He's right up there with him, and I'm on the border of putting him above.
No, I
Aldo.
already have.
Have you? I'm right there. I'm right there.
No.
And and then the only reason why I haven't is I'm looking maybe for one more guy at 145. But I got to look down the list. I got to see. Can you pull up the 45-pound division? There was one more guy in that division that I was looking at that I was thinking,
Topuria. Yeah.
It was Topuria, and then there was also another guy down at the bottom there. Dun dun dun. Maybe there wasn't. Oh, Evolov. I think we were talking about with Evolov, but I get it. I think it was Topuria was the main guy that. Well, if I see that fight and I see a finisher, I see a domination. I mean, it's gonna be hard for me not to put him ahead of.
You want to talk about the big brass balls? I listened to Volkanovski in an interview with Mark Raimondi, and he's talking. He says, Raimondi says, so there's no way that you're going to be able to fight Topuria in January. He goes, why not? Of course I will. He goes, what are you talking about? Let's see. Hold on. November, December. Yeah, 3 months. That's perfect. That's exactly how much I want to fight. That's great. I want to fight every 3 months. I was like, dude, you are a different breed, man.
I love it.
It's great. Absolutely.
Well, that was like when we talked to Bobby Green the other day. It's very much the same way. And look, and Bobby's going to drop also too on this show. And
hello.
But the thing is, when we talked to Bobby said the exact same thing. He's like, look, I didn't realize until I saw Chris Lieben fight. He just fought 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Wait, he's fighting again. How in the hell did he do that? Oh, wait, I can fight this often? All I got to do is put my name in the hat? Well, shit. And this guy being a champion. Now, I know the UFC needs to
That's the rare thing, though. That's the rare thing.
Yeah.
When you got a champion that wants to fight that much,
yeah,
that's the rare part.
I think that, like, look, when you have a guy who who is not just as talented, but just brings the energy. He's got charisma. There's no ill will towards other people that he's fighting. You're not dealing with drama at the week of or the weigh-ins, and he always makes weight. He's always a professional. The guy he's just respectful before and after the fight. Sure, he wants to beat your ass.
Sure.
That's the fight game.
That's his job.
That's his job. He gets paid. He's an entertainer, and he does a damn good job of entertaining people. He's one of the best in the game that I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of top fighters. But he knows how to promote a fight. He knows how to be respectful about it. He knows his boundaries. He's got a country behind him. This guy rocks, man. I love everything about him. You know, I was on the fence with him when he first beat Max. I was like, all right, he's good. You know, whatever. Let's see what he does. And then as he fight after fight, he continued to win. And the one that really, really won me over was the Brian Ortega fight.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt about it.
That
fight says everything about that.
Yeah. And no homo here, but he literally, like, I was like all of a sudden a huge fan. Huge fan.
You can be a homo. It's all right.
Man,
there's nothing wrong with being a homo.
No, there's not.
Good.
There's not at all.
You're
But,
good.
I was just, he captivated me that night. I was like, dude, you fought your way out of some deep shit and came back and then come back and win the next two rounds. He fought a phenomenal fight. And I became a huge fan after that. Liked him before. Kind of fell in love with him after that. Little, you know.
Yeah.
And,
little man crush.
But little man, exactly. Great words there, buddy.
Little man crush.
Just a great fighter, and I'm looking forward to seeing this fight. I want to see how he comes out and approaches it. A lot of people say, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to go out there and let it hang out. All right. Let me see.
Can't wait to see
Because when
it.
you get out there, when you get there, sometimes they don't.
Yeah,
they kind of try to, I got 5 rounds. They start getting in their own head. Islam, he's got a lot on his mind going, okay, look, he didn't have a full camp. I got to, maybe the game plan has changed a little bit now. He knows he's fighting someone that didn't have a full camp. Okay, I've got to get out there, be aggressive early, try to slow him down, try to make him tired. Do you blow your wad? Do you use too much energy in positions you wouldn't normally, thinking you're going to get him tired, when in reality, you're making yourself more tired? There's a lot of ways to look at this fight.
Yeah, there is.
And so it definitely, it's definitely one of those fights, man. Like, I'm going to be on the edge of my seat going, who's going to fight which way? Who's going to fight which way? Because coming in short notice, John, it really makes you think, he could do this. Wait, no, he could do this. Wait, he could change. And what happens if he fights this way? Fuck it, I don't even know, John. I don't even know. I'm literally going.
That's why when you have these type of matchups, they're special. These are special.
Yeah.
And look, let's give one more up to Islam. People do not understand when he took that fight against Volkanovski this time here. That's a man up fucking step, because you were training for someone that is absolutely different, and someone that you have a specific knowledge of. You've been in there with him also, and you have a specific knowledge of Volkanovski, and you know how good he is, and you want to prepare more for him. And most champions are going to say, no, I want more time for that. Nope. He says, let's do it. That's what I'm here for. You got to admire it.
Well, what his comments, like Dana, I think I said it. Dana
said he wants to put it up on the
UFC on the PI,
the Apex or whatever.
At the Apex, whatever it is. Yeah, just basically look, if I'm supposed to be the best guy in the world, and I believe I am, then it doesn't matter who it is. I have to be able to beat him.
I can't say no. Let's go.
Yeah, I can't say no. I've got to be able to beat him. So hey, I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm looking forward to the exchanges before, the exchanges during the fight, and the exchanges after the fight. I think everything's going to be great. I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to end up being I think it might end up being a better fight than the.
I think it'll be a better fight than the first one. I do.
Yeah, I do.
I really do.
I think so.
Because I think you're starting off at round 6.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. I'm going to lean. Obviously, I'm going to lean towards my boy Islam.
No, you really?
Yeah.
Come on, Josh.
But I said, like, there's a lot more pressure on him, because he knows that everyone knows that Volk didn't have a full camp, and that pressure gets put on you as the fighter that accepted the fight. I had a full camp. But it wasn't preparing for this guy. And if I look at, and I've said this before, training with people that are short and stocky, muscular, good cardio, Justin Wilcox being one of those guys, just so hard to hold down. Constantly, always in shape, always a professional, always just good everywhere, hard, just those type of things. fighting someone like Charles Oliveira is, to me, I feel like is tailor-made for Islam. The body style, the two of them are tall, long, lanky. They have that type of body style. The strength factor, I believe, is going to go to Islam. The submission game we saw in the last fight went to Islam, but that doesn't mean that he couldn't get caught by Charles.
Sure.
On the feet, I would have went with Islam based off of I've trained with them, I've sparred with them. I think the slickness and the style of which Islam spars and the way that his stand up is, that I thought he would beat Charles on the feet also. But with the speed of Volkanovski over Islam, it puts that, we say speed kills all the time, and there's a reason for it, because it does.
You're right,
That
it
right
does.
there is how you get to the chin faster. And if you throw straight punches, they sneak through if you're the faster fighter.
That's right.
And you only need that extra 2 inches to get through, that extra inch to get through. I mean, ask my wife. I got 2 kids, so all I need is that extra inch or 2. So
I wasn't
it's
thinking
just-
that it was extra. I thought it was just an inch or 2.
yeah, pretty much. John, you've seen it, bro. You've seen it. So, this makes for an exciting fight, depending on how these two decide to fight on the night of. So I'm looking forward to it. Best of luck to both of them. But I'm gonna go with Islam, probably trying to get the finish, maybe somewhere in the end of the third or end of the fourth. I predicted that also too in the first fight, but
Yeah.
I was wrong.
I'm just gonna say, I'm not making a prediction on who's going to win.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to get a stoppage. I don't think anyone's going to
Really?
stop the other guy. I think it's going to end up going to a decision again. I think both guys are just too damn tough
Yeah.
and too damn good, to put them away. They've got to make a big mistake. It can happen. But I really think we're going to see 5 more rounds.
The reason why I say I think Islam gets the finish, because as not having a full camp, as Volkanovski slows down a tiny bit, and that's in that third and fourth round, that's when the mistake will be made on the submission. And I think that Makhachev's going to be able to catch the submission in one of the scrambles, one of the
You
exchanges. one
do
of the
remember
takedowns.
those submissions by Brian Ortega?
Yeah, I do. I
You
do remember those.
You remember how those worked, right?
Yes, I do. I do remember those. I do. But the physical strength of Brian's not the same as the physical strength. And look, we all know what
this
he
is
goes
true.
to.
It's true.
When he gets to the back, he can finish in the rear naked because of the physical strength, like Khabib across the jaw of Conor McGregor. Those type of submissions, they work,
but
man.
there's a difference.
The side choke.
Volkanovski will not tap to
No, he
a
won't.
face crank.
You're right.
He's not going to tap to that.
He won't. But in that side choke position, those Kimura
It
positions,
sucks.
the
It
physical
sucks.
strength, the
I'm not
physical
saying-
strength. Yeah, I think I'm looking at the submissions that I know that he can attack against someone like Volkanovski. In the first fight, it wasn't there for him. Second fight, I think in this one, as Volk starts to slow down because of not having a full camp, I look at Islam being able to get either Kimura, a guillotine, arm-in guillotine, rear naked, or a side choke. One of those 4 submissions. That might have been 5, but one of those 4 submissions. Not good at math. All right, co-main event. You got Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev.
God damn, that's a great co-main event. I love this fight. This is such a good matchup, and at a time when it's the timing that it's the only thing that makes me wonder. When I look at this and I look at Usman, and again, I'm taking nothing away from him. I love the guy. I think he's been was a great champion. He's been a great ambassador to the sport. He's conducted himself well throughout. When he finally got the chance, he got the title. He defended it multiple times against great fighters. But I do know that he's got some issues with injuries. And I do know he's slowing down a little bit. And that's, that just happens to everyone. It just depends on what stage it happens at. And is it the stage going up in weight against Chimaev? I don't look at it as, I think both of them are going up. They're both guys that have fought at 170 and they're at 185. Okay. My real question is the speed now.
Mm-hmm.
Is the speed of Chimaev going to be too much for Kamaru Usman? The wrestling, look, Kamaru Usman was a fantastic wrestler. Obviously, knees are not as good as they used to be. Same as we talk about, guys when they're coming in and, doing little, level changes as before the fight, all of a sudden it doesn't look the same. Things just change. And so I look at Chimaev. I think Chimaev is going to be the favorite in this. I think he's the guy that, when you look at it overall, he's going to be the favorite in the fight. That does not mean that Kamaru Usman cannot win this fight. He absolutely can win this fight. And I think that if he wins this fight, he wins it by being the guy that stops Chimaev with his wrestling and then wears Chimaev out in the stand-up with some of the big shots because he's got power. We know Usman's got power. He can wear him down with big shots and put him away. But it's a 3-round fight. He's going to have to, be on the gas pedal a lot with it. But both guys have great gas tanks. I think that Usman has the better gas tank. He's proved that too many times that he can go and push and push. So I love this fight.
I'm assuming this is a 3-round fight.
It's got to be.
Well, it doesn't got to be because we've had co-main event 5-round fights. They've talked about potentially doing those, and they've done them 2 or 3 times. They've done it. And Dana's already publicly come out and said the winner of this fight's getting the next title shot against Strickland.
Yeah.
You got Izzy taking a sabbatical, just kind of taking some time off, focusing on himself and his mental health and all the other things going on. And good for him. And that's another thing I wanted to say real quick to him is, is if you need that, and there's moments where you need that in your career, you got to take him. Here's the thing. He'll end up disappearing for a month, maybe 2, and be like, you know what? I fucking miss it. Time to get back.
Good.
That's sometimes all you need. Yeah. Maybe he takes 6 months. Maybe he takes 8 months, whatever it is. But I'm glad he's taking time for himself because this shit wears on you, man. It mentally gets to you and your body and everything else. But back to Kamaru Usman. I had some people on there going, hey, I hit up on Usman's IG, and I said, hey, man, best of luck, rooting for you, this and that. And then somebody came out and said something like, that's not what you said on your podcast. I said, no, that is what I said. I am rooting for him. I do want him to win. I have not rooted for him a couple times and fucking back. It's not that I didn't root for him.
That's what you said.
I just thought.
You said, you know what? Every time that I kind of I go against him, he ends up proving me wrong.
Yep. And so, here's the thing. I can't not go for him right now. Because also, too, I really want him to win.
Yeah, you got to root for the old guy.
I want the old guy, but I also love the underdog story. The guy that comes in, I love the underdog story with the Volk thing, too. But Islam's my boy, man. I can't do that. I don't know Chimaev at all. But Kamaru Usman, I've met him. I know him. But I look at him and I think to myself, he's got the pedigree to do this. He's got the wrestling to stuff the takedowns or at least make Chimaev work really hard for them. He's also got the stand-up where he's technically sound. This is the other thing I want the takeaway to be is people forget that he trains at altitude. So even when he's just in there at Trevor Whitman's place up in Colorado, he's at altitude.
Yep.
He's just hanging out. He's hitting the bag, hitting mitts, working on his technique, getting better on the feet, doing all these things. Now, I know he's been down at Kill Cliff because I saw a video of him down there at Kill Cliff. And I got some friends that train at Kill Cliff, and they've all told me, yeah, he's been there. Cool. I think it's fantastic. He's training a little bit with Jason Jackson, who's a big, 70-pounder.
It's a good body
for
him. Long.
Good body for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It matches up with Chimaev very well as far as size and length.
Yep, size and length and reach. And people forget, Jason Jackson was a good wrestler before. He came into the sport as a wrestler. Now he stands a lot, but he's a big body frame. Now, he's not a Chimaev-type wrestler.
No.
I'm not trying to say that. No. But he'll make you work for the takedowns.
Sure.
He'll make you work. And he's good on the feet, dangerous on the feet. I also think he's got better stand-up than Chimaev when it comes to the stand-up. Now, Chimaev, though, will just throw stuff caution to the wind when he throws his striking. He'll throw uppercuts, big shots. He'll just fucking like a berserker. He opens up and comes after you. Jason Jackson will do the same, but he's a little bit more methodical about his placement of his shots, whereas Chimaev is, I guess you call him like a wolf. He's just someone who just comes in, is like, fuck it, let's just see what happens. That makes for exciting fights.
It does.
When I
am surprised looking at the odds on that, though. I thought Chimaev was going to be the favorite. Not that big of a favorite.
Minus 360.
Yeah.
Against plus 285. That's still
a 3-1
size. That's
almost 4-1.
You thought you didn't think it'd be that big?
No, I thought it'd be 2-1 at most. I thought it'd be 180.
Oh no.
190. Really?
I figured it'd be about this.
So you're talking about a guy in Usman.
I know.
Where's the credit all of a sudden? Boy,
the betting lines took the Josh Thomson approach fucking from a couple years ago. I look at Kamaru Usman. I saw him with Islam earlier today in one of the videos, and he's having to cut weight to make 185.
Okay.
I'm simply saying No, what I'm saying though is that he's not a small guy.
No.
Maybe he's not having to cut a ton of weight, but he's going to have to cut some weight. Chimaev's got a little bit taller body frame, but I think it's just the physicality of it all. I think Usman's got a really good chance. Now it's going to probably go the distance. It's going to see who can land the more shots. I think Chimaev's going to probably be able to sneak away with the first round with the aggressiveness and just the bullying of the body around the cage. But as you start to get tired, you start fighting careless and reckless. Kamaru Usman's still going to be there. And he's going to start touching you.
Look out for the right hand of Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, and just start touching you and then, start wrestling you a little bit more and just start that championship mentality, that champions mentality, I should say. Yep. It's going to be like, all right, I see you're slowing down. I see you don't have that energy. Let me show you what I can do to you. Yep. And the fact that he didn't have to cut to 70, are we going to see him a little bit more fresh in that second and that third round? Kamaru Usman. Chimaev, I know he's not cutting to 70 either, but I'm simply saying, did he put on the muscle too fast? Because he looks big right now. And how much weight is he gonna have to cut? He looks physically like muscular big right now.
Yeah, I saw him.
And so when I look at that, I go, how much weight did you have to cut? Did you get too big too fast? Did you retain? Did you put on too much muscle too fast? How much water are you being able to carry? Yeah. Like, did you you think? Like, he has that mentality that he's unstoppable and no matter what happens, I can do it. I love that mindset.
That's one of the things that makes him dangerous.
But you're fighting another champion who has the same type of mentality.
Yeah.
I agree. And Kamaru Usman, look, I can't go against Kamaru. So I'm going to go with Usman.
I like it.
I'm going with Usman.
I like it.
Yeah. I just think Chimaev's going to fight at a reckless pace in Abu Dhabi. He's going to try to make it something that and it's going to backfire on him. He's not going to fight a smart. He's going to show a low fight IQ to impress everybody there, and it's going to backfire. I think Usman's going to be able to get him.
One of the things I think that's going to help Kamaru is he's got a friend that he fought and had a knockout win against Gilbert Burns, who had a good fight with Chimaev, and he was able to train around Gilbert, get some information from him. All of those things, those help. Those little things that someone caught inside of the cage with him and saw. Those are little things that, when you put those in the back pocket, okay, this is what I need to do. I said, if this fight ends early, I think it's Chimaev winning. If it goes the distance, I'm going with Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Next fight, you got Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. It's a good fight, John.
It is a good fight. It's an interesting fight, and it's one I want to see. I've had a lot of talks with Johnny Walker. I like Johnny Walker. He's a good guy. And for a while, he was fighting in a way that was not intelligent, not smart, and it was costing him. And he's gotten himself back. He works at SBG in Ireland with John Kavanagh now. He's been fighting intelligently, and he's been getting wins. And he needs to do the same thing against Ankalaev. In fact, if he does anything other than that, he will not get a win against Ankalaev, because Ankalaev is a very solid, steady, just solid fighter. As far as he's not super exciting in what he does, but he likes to stand up. He can wrestle. He doesn't a lot of the times, but when he gets rolling in the stand up, he's a guy that you got to look at. He's trouble because he does have power in his hands too.
Yeah, Ankalaev, he's very defensive. He's got a very good game plan on the feet. Normally, he doesn't really take a lot of chances.
Nope.
But he's a very technical fighter.
He's slow and systematic.
Yes, he is.
But he just keeps on rolling at you.
He does. But this is where Johnny Walker from the old might play a big factor in this fight here, is because if he goes and throws punches and kicks from positions that fighters don't normally throw them from, he may have some success. Johnny Walker fights careless sometimes.
If you think about it, one of the things about Johnny Walker, if you watch his fights and where he does a lot of damage, is when people do try to take him down. Look, he's so long that he's tough to take down. As far as if you get to that single leg, you're in trouble. He's going to end up hitting you with shots, and he does a great job of actually gaining distance and then bringing you close to him to land with power. So Ankalaev needs to be careful about how he goes about taking Johnny Walker down based upon his length and what Johnny does when you go for that single leg. You get him in the double leg, he kind of comes off his feet. You go for the single leg, he makes you pay.
I don't think that Uncle Ive's going to try to wrestle. I think he's going to try
I
to
don't
keep
either.
it on the feet. He's just got to survive that first 2.5 minutes. He's got to make him respect. Uncle Ive's got to make Walker respect him early in the fight. Don't come out here and start throwing reckless and careless against me, because if I touch you a couple times, you'll be asleep.
Yeah.
That's what Uncle Ive needs to do. Now, Johnny Walker, to me, I think needs to go out there and fight a little reckless in the beginning of the fight, because I've noticed that Uncle Ive doesn't handle that pressure, that aggressiveness really well, especially early, because he's still trying to get the read. He's still trying to figure out how fast you are, how hard you hit. He's someone that he's a thinker in there.
Yeah. You look at the Blachowicz fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, he's out there trying to think about how I can do this, how I can do that, and like, hey, when you do this, what can I do back? And I can see his brain working as he's out there. He's trying to systematically pick you apart. So I believe that if Johnny Walker's going to have success, he's going to have to bring a little bit of that unorthodox style of stand-up. Punches that come from different angles that could potentially land. Because if you just try to go out there and be textbook with Uncle Ive, he's going to pick you apart. He's going to touch you, boom. He's going to parry your punch, jab you right back. He's going to do all these things. And in the wrestling, I think if the fight hits the ground, I think it's going to be Uncle Ive. He's got to be on top. But I think there's some damage he can do from that top position. And I think if he does get the takedown, it'll be because Johnny Walker overextended, left himself out of position, and Uncle Ive took an easy takedown.
Yeah.
So
Good fight, though.
that's gonna be a good fight.
Yep. All right, we had Ikram Aliskerov against Warley Alves. This is an interesting fight. Man, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen Warley Alves for a while, and I look at this and I go, man, that's a tough fight to come back. And when's the last? Can you do me a favor, Dave? Pull up the last time Warley Alves. I know he was out for a while, then he came back, but then it seems like I haven't seen him for a while again. Yeah, there you go, Nicholas Dalby. Okay, so January of 2023. That was the last time.
Been what? 10 months.
Yeah,
That's a long
coming
time.
up on a year.
Yeah.
But
well, he's got 2 losses, so I mean, this may be a see you later, sucker kind of fight. Might be that way.
Never know. It's a tough fight for him, though. I'm just being honest. In looking at the two, I go, man, you have got to be on point and be sharp and not make a mistake if you're going to get that win. But we'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. Look, I'm a big fan of Said Nurmagomedov. I love the way he fights, the way he throws people, the way he utilizes his stand-up, how fast he is on the takedowns and the takedown defense. I mean, I look at him and this. I'm like, man, this kid's the future. I know he's got some ways to go. He's got to clean up some things. You know, he's real good in the first 2 rounds, and then as he starts to slow down, like in his last fight, he started getting tired in that 3rd round. Click on Nurmagomedov there. I'm trying to remember who he fought, but I noticed in that 3rd round he started getting a little tired. And I believe he lost. Oh, he lost his last fight. That's right, Jonathan Martinez.
Look who he lost.
Sorry, yeah, Martinez is tough, man. Tough.
We just watched him.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking of the fight. No, I wasn't thinking of the fight before that. I was thinking of the Martinez fight. Yeah. So I've noticed that he tends to slow down. The pressure gets to him a little bit, or he fights he doesn't fight. You can't run your gas tank in the red the whole time and expect the gas to last the full 3 rounds. Yeah. And so he was revving that engine up the whole time, and it just showed. He started getting tired, started making mistakes, and one thing less to the next, and then next you know he was down on the cards. But I love the way he fights. He's a tough fighter. He's really good. I'm looking forward to him making some changes in this fight. I was trying to remember if it was his last fight. Good fight though. It should be fun to watch. But John, the next fight to me, it's going to be fun. It's going to be action packed. It's going to be a great fight.
Look, Tim Elliott is just he's a gamer no matter what. I love the guy. He's crazy. He is a fighter, and he's taken off a young stud. I love this kid. Muhammad Makhachev he's good. He's good everywhere. He's talented. He's got confidence. He believes in himself. I saw a little,
sometimes people call it cocky, but he's
he's a little bit of that too. But I actually saw a little text thing where Muhammad basically said that they were trying to make him not that Tim Elliott sent him candy. Because at the hotel there, they have a little candy thing for him, welcoming him to United Arab Emirates. And Tim like goes, everyone gets that, you dumbass. But look, Tim Elliott has been in there with the very best. obviously Makhachev is he's going to be the favorite in this fight, but don't be surprised if Tim Elliott just starts to systematically wear him down, wear him out, and all of a sudden the veteran and all the experience just is too much for young Makhachev to handle, because he's done great so far. He is up against a guy that will not quit. Now, I'm going to tell you the more talented guy overall, it's Makhachev. He's good. I got nothing bad to say. His wrestling is outstanding. His stand-up is getting better. Tim is a guy that he'll take the fight to the ground. He'll stand with you. He'll go anywhere. And so I think the fight's going to be all over the place.
I look at this fight a little bit like the main event, is that there's a lot of pressure on that guy, Makhachev, to 10-0. And you have a guy who he understands where he's at in his career. He's 19-12-1 is his record, but he's fought the who's who in the sport, especially in the flyweight division. I mean, and what he was able to do, which got him in to the UFC, and what he was able to do then, and now you look at what he's like. Look, I fought guys as good as you. I fought guys better than you. And he's thinking to himself, and I made those guys work.
Yep.
All he's got to do is make him work. He makes him work for the full 3 rounds, and this guy can go forever. Tim Elliott can go forever. 3 rounds, walk in the park, Kazansky.
Yeah.
Easy fight. I look at this fight. It's going to be a fun fight, man, because Tim Elliott's like, I know where I'm at in my career. I know where you are at. A win over you puts me right into that talk of like, okay, look, does Tim have another run in him? Can Tim get back to a title shot? Is it there? Makhachev's got all the pressure on him to deliver in this fight. It's going to be a fun fight, though. Tim Elliott's going to make it very interesting.
Yep.
John, is there anything else on here you want to talk about? Any other fighters?
You got to talk about Javid Basharat against Victor Henry. That's a good fight. Basharat is a freaking monster. That dude is so good. But Victor Henry is a gamer, man. He's got good stand-up. He's got good ground. He will stand with anybody, and he's going to have to be on his best behavior against Basharat in the way that Basharat goes after the fight. But that's an awesome fight.
All right. I'm going to have to look up who this young guy is down here who's 11-0. His last name's Magomedov. Butian?
Oh, that's it. I know. That's the guy with one eye.
How are they letting him fight with one
Sharabutian.
eye?
Huh? He's good. He's good.
How are they letting him fight with one eye?
Well, every place is different. That's why he's fighting in Abu Dhabi. This is not. Let's be honest. The UFC is regulating themselves, so they're saying, yeah, you can fight here.
Wow.
I like it. There's a kid named Dre Miley. Dre Miley out of Knoxville. Who is
about one eye, Michael Bisping.
Well, Mike ended up that way, but he kept going and won a championship that way.
Fucking savage.
So God bless him. Yes, but there's a kid named Dre Miley out of Knoxville who is same thing. He's got one eye and he's been trying to get into Bellator and different things, trying to fight, and because of athletic commissions, they don't want him to fight because look at this is who he is. This kid, same thing. Magomedov here. He is this. I'm telling you, that dude can fight. Mm-hmm. I've watched him. He's a monster.
I look at guys like that have one, that have something like that. Like
there's been a lot.
Nick Newell.
Yeah,
they can fight, man. Nick Newell he made it to day 2 at fucking ADCC trials last weekend. Day 2.
I told you the story about the one-armed bandit. Right in California, I told you that they Baxter Humby.
Tell me again.
Baxter Humby was a kickboxer in California.
Oh, yes, you did.
He was a world champion.
Yeah,
and
I watched him fight one time.
Yeah, he's good.
Yes,
and he wanted to fight MMA, and at the time, the California Athletic Commission, no, you can't fight. You've got one arm, you can't fight MMA. And it's
they let him fight. But they let him fight kickboxing.
Yes, yeah. They don't ask for logic. This is back when this wasn't Andy Foster. This was Armando Garcia, who was special. Jeez. And so, the whole thing was, they didn't. So we put him through a workout, right? And it's at Gokar Chavikian's gym, his and Gene LaBelle's, and and all the guys they're letting Baxter do stuff. So I ended up grappling with him. And I was like, look, I'm going to put you in bad positions. Just get out of them. Try to put me in bad positions, whatever you want. So we're going. And the first thing, I get side control on him, and he takes his arm and he sticks it right in my neck, right in my the stump of his arm. And I was like, I'm like, all right, goddamn, right? That hurts, right? That sucks. Move it. Boom, right? Okay, I'm good. And as soon as I start to move, it goes right back in. And I was like, oh shit, he can do stuff that other guys can't do. And this is awkward, and it was like, okay, we rolled through, and I was like, man, you got to let this guy, look, he's not the greatest grappler, but he understands what he's doing, and he can do things that, look, I can't do. I can't get my arm to go in like some of the stuff he's doing. So they finally let him fight. He won. It's like, of course.
What a stud.
Yep.
I mean, you gotta let these, if they have the ability and they have the ability
desire,
to train hard and desire to do it, you gotta let them fight, man. You gotta let them go.
Thank you.
They're fucking out here making.
Trey Miley, I hope they let you fight, man.
Yeah.
See,
I agree. This can be a good. So you're saying I gotta keep an eye on. So I gotta watch the very first.
Yeah, you gotta watch that first one, dude. You're gonna
I like Bruno Silva, man. He's good. Bruno Silva's a tough fighter.
Yeah, he is a tough fighter. He's
the one that went the distance with Alex Pereira, right?
Yes.
Should be a good fight.
Yeah.
Should be a good fight. We'll see what this young buck can do. Man, last name Magomedov, he's gonna be good. He's gonna at least have some talent. All right, hey, that's gonna wrap up our UFC talk for this weekend's pay-per-view, and let's go ahead and jump into something else. What else you got for us there, Dave? Oh, geez.
I want to get your thoughts on the KSI Tommy Fury fight. Drawing over 1 million pay-per-view buys. It was 1.3 was the number they're giving out. And now Dylan Danis is saying that now that he's shown what he can do for selling fights, that he wants to go to the UFC.
Well, before we get on to this, though, go to onlyfans.com/weighing-in, onlyfans.com/weighing-in. Subscribe to us over there. It is free. We want to thank you guys for continuing to follow us. And look, some special clips will be cut and put onto the OnlyFans from the Cain Velasquez and Bobby Green interview. So we're going to put probably one extra cut over there. Go over there and check it out. Subscribe to us over there. It is free. We do not charge you guys. We want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support us, whether it's our merch at weighingin.merch.com or whether it's at onlyfans.com/weighing-in. Thank you guys. All right, let's get into this KSI, Tommy Fury, Logan Paul, Dylan Danis, drew over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Let's be honest. Maybe they did. But we also know that they were on several different platforms. It's going to be very difficult to pull that type of information within 2-3 days. It's almost damn near impossible.
True.
You won't actually get the real number.
Estimated.
Yeah. It's estimated from the pre-sales to, and then they actually have to wait until how many credit cards were declined, how many people actually asked for refunds and fought it, how many times people just called their credit card company and say, I didn't buy that. So it's going to take some time for this whole thing to shake out. Maybe it did more than 1.3. Maybe it did less. I'm just going to simply say.
Just the fact that number comes up is kind of amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I'll
but
just
remember what I told you. Remember what I told you. We were talking about this on the was it on the Bobby Green? Anyways, we were talking about this on one of our shows. I think on our last show. I believe they're going to keep Dylan. I believe that Bellator is going to keep Dylan Danis. And you were saying like, oh, after that, maybe
you said that.
Yeah, and everyone keeps saying if Bellator doesn't cut him, they're stupid. I'm sorry, but. Let's just say Bellator is sold to PFL. PFL is going to a pay-per-view model. This is proof that he can sell a fight
and you
or
also
help sell a fight.
You also have Logan's brother, Jake, who would sit there and say, all right, I'll fight you in an MMA fight.
Well, I think Logan would fight him in an MMA fight. I think he would. And the other thing, though, too, John, here is, look, in this thing, look, when this whole fight was leading up, did you even remember that KSI and Tommy Fury were on this fucking thing?
Yeah,
I didn't remember. I didn't remember it.
Okay.
I mean, like
I knew that they were the main event because it's KSI's promotion.
I get it, but at the end of the day, nobody was talking about Tommy Fury and KSI. They were talking about Dylan Danis blowing up Logan's fiance.
Yeah,
and that's what built this fight.
Absolutely.
Which is insane to me that he didn't actually ask for pay-per-view points. What a knucklehead. I don't even understand. Like, you obviously don't have. I don't know if who's his manager?
I don't think he has.
I don't know. Anyways,
dude. Okay, let's be honest. Never mind.
Yeah, leave it alone.
I mean, he had Phil Hawes and Peter Queally in his corner. Now, both guys are good guys. Both guys are tough fighters, MMA fighters. They're not boxers. Okay, so really, what was Dylan Danis doing? Did Dylan Danis, do anything that was, conventionally smart in this? No.
Look,
except the way he sold it.
He sold it. I gave him a little bit of credit on the show the show we did right after the fights. I said, look, he had a good game plan in terms of walk forward, cover up.
You have a good game plan to walk and put pressure if you're going to throw.
If you're going to throw. That's what I said in the last show. I was saying, if you're going to throw, that's a good game plan. And I got murdered.
He couldn't even hit the damn security guard. He missed him by that much.
I mean, he pretty much gave his back in that situation too, right? Against the bartender or the bouncer.
No.
Oh, I'm saying
when Logan Paul's security guy came in, he swung at him and he missed him by that much.
But if you're fighting someone like Logan Paul, and Dylan kept saying he was on juice, all these things. If you're fighting someone who you believe is on juice, you want to put pressure on him. You want to make him fight. You want to make him tired. So when he came out doing what he did with this whole shell game, I thought to myself, it's not a bad game plan.
Yeah,
not a bad game plan.
Not a bad concept.
Do that for 2 rounds as he starts punching himself out. Okay, then I'll go ahead and start attacking. The attacks never came. That was one. But then 2 is this. What does this say, John, about the level of this type of boxing? You got Logan who boxed Floyd Mayweather, and it was actually kind of made Logan look like he wasn't that bad. And then he fights Dylan Danis.
He definitely made Logan look like he wasn't that bad because Logan proved in this fight exactly where his level's at.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say in this fight he's horrible. He couldn't crack an egg with his punches.
Well, it's because he's throwing arm punches.
Yeah, and he looked horrible. It was embarrassing. I got to be honest. It was embarrassing that I spent 3 hours of my life watching it. You know,
we have to. We have a podcast.
I know. But look, if these numbers are true, I mean, who am I to argue and say, hey, you guys obviously put something together. Good job. I mean, you got to look. There's only so much you can say, but when you're pulling numbers like this, UFC's not pulling numbers like this.
No, 1 point. Well, they have.
We're talking right now, John. I'm not talking about fucking 10 years ago.
Not right now. No.
Okay, I'm not talking about 10 years ago. I'm talking about right now. Okay. Yeah. It's been.
I have a question.
I want to know. Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
No, you go ahead.
What I want to know when the last time the UFC did over 1 million pay-per-view buys.
It was recent.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the fight.
Max and no, not Max and Volk, but
no, I want to say it was
Khabib and Connor.
Let's see. Does that go by date or see it goes by pay-per-view, so you got to look it up. That's something about that.
So 1 million ends right here. So
when did they do it?
246.
It was
Cerrone versus McGregor. They have it.
Oh wait, Davis Garcia. This is
no. That's a boxing event, dude.
Yeah, Cerrone versus McGregor did one something.
Yeah, Poirier versus
McGregor 3, 2021.
Oh, 1.5. Did it 1.5?
Yep.
Good for them. Fucking savages.
Poirier McGregor 2 did fucking a lot more than that at 1.6. 257. So,
what was Nate? 1.6 was Nate.
Nate was
Diaz and McGregor.
1.6.
Diaz and McGregor.
1.6.
Yeah, 1.6 as well.
The second one did 1.6.
Wow. And then you got Khabib and McGregor.
That's the best one they've ever had is Khabib.
Yeah, 2.4. Yeah. Damn, that's fucking big.
That's a big one.
Did Dylan blow his wad with the way that he did this? So can he promote another fight with a similar type of craze? Because he had political media picking up on what he was doing because it was so out there and brash. But can he do that again and sell the same number of pay-per-views, or does he have another game in him, a different type of game in him that he can bring to the table that will sell the same number of pay-per-views?
I don't think he's going to sell the same number of pay-per-views, but I think he's got another game in him. I don't know what it is, but I know this. when you're good at shit talking, you find ways to troll other people pretty easily. And he's good at it. Whether it was trolling Ariel Helwani on his own show or whether it was trolling Logan Paul's fiance, I mean, he finds ways to get under people's skin. And when you get under people's skin, more people start posting about it. Negativity sells, man. There's no doubt about it. And he finds ways to bring light to whatever your flaws are, and that gets under people's skin, and that's what makes him popular. Then that gets retweeted, that gets reposted, that gets shared around to all these other platforms, and eventually the media just starts grabbing a hold. Look what he's doing, look what he's saying, and they run with it. You can say what you want, man. I mean, if, like I said, he's the reason why that card. I'm not gonna just say simply Tommy Fury and KSI. Sure, they're the main event. But I don't think it would have done. I don't think it would have done 1-3 if it wasn't for Dylan Danis. The amount of media attention that thing got because of him
going after Paul's fiance, that was the big thing.
But if Bellator is to end up going to PFL, PFL end up buying Bellator, they'd be stupid to get rid of him. And him making his he had. I think I saw him do an interview. He said, "Yeah, I'm thinking about going. I'd rather go to the UFC because I just proved I could sell a fight." Okay, but you have a contract with another company, and if you're the PFL, knowing you're going to be going to a pay-per-view format consistently, I'm not letting you go. We had this conversation the other day, and you're like, well, I could see them letting him go because of the antics in the ring, try to hit takedowns during boxing. I'm sorry, but the PFL doesn't own a boxing promotion.
Nah, they might.
Yeah, they might. They may, but they don't right now. And they're not. And if you're absorbing his contract is for MMA.
Yeah, that's true.
So if I'm going to bring him over, I'm going to bring you over to fight MMA. We know you're better on the ground anyways. I don't think people want to see him box again. So, but we know you can sell a fight. So I'm going to try to utilize that as best I can. Yeah, I think that this will prove that had he done shitty numbers, they might have let him go. But yeah, I don't think so.
Congratulations, Dylan. You won.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, kind of. I mean, had you asked for pay-per-view points, you would have definitely won.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, man. Jeez. Yeah. These guys. But you can't knock these guys for doing what they're doing. People are paying for this, obviously. It's insane to me. Insane. All right, what else you got for us, Dave?
All right, let's move over here. Islam puts a post out on Instagram today showing Khabib in the treadmill, and he says that Khabib could come back. He was asked if Khabib could come back and beat Strickland for the 185 belt, and he said Khabib could easily come back right now because he's not missing practice. He could easily come back right now and beat Sean for the belt. Thoughts?
I mean, I've seen him train and spar with guys at 185 pounds that were top-level guys. I've seen him take them down. I've seen him control them. I mean, go back and look at some videos of him training
guys that are 205 pounds, guys that are heavyweight.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
Like, I mean, let's be honest. If you were going to take a look at the UFC right now in the 170-pound division, Leon Edwards, I think, is a fantastic fighter. He's going to have a hard time stopping Khabib in the takedown. Now, could Leon knock him out? Yep. And if he doesn't, he's going to end up getting taken down and ground out. It's going to be a tough fight for him. Sean Strickland, same thing. Could Sean Strickland beat him in the stand-up? Yep. But he could get taken down too, which could be. Khabib was able to do that against everyone. Now, different size. Could it be different? Sure. But if he got him down, he's going to wear him out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like everyone's going to say I'm being biased, but I think
I'm not being biased. I'm just being honest.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. In both those fights, whether it be Leon Edwards or whether it be Sean Strickland, both of them catch him on the chin and put him to sleep.
Sure.
There's no doubt about it. The physical size of Strickland might pose him a little bit of problems because he is a little bit taller, a little bit, but
Strickland was a 170-pounder for a long time. He's 6'1".
No, I get it.
6'2".
But Khabib's my height. It's not like he's not tall. He's my height.
No, he's taller. He's definitely taller.
He's not taller than me. You shut your fucking
definitely
mouth. I'm gonna jump through this thing and no, he's not taller than me. But he is. He's his legs and his shoulders and his back. Everything's definitely a lot thicker. Yeah, he's got a big back and he's he's gifted, man. Like he understands. But look, he's not coming back. I don't even know why we're like. It's good to think about this type of stuff and fun, but he ain't coming back.
No,
He'll never come back. He's living a good life right now, a very good life, enjoying time with his family, his kids, his mom, and he stops in and visits the guys when he can to give him some push and some motivation. Good for him. I'm happy for him. Happy for him and his family, and definitely with Islam now, it's like he's just taking over. The whole father's plan thing is working out the way it's supposed to. I mean, if you did the numbers, you got Umar, Usman, and Khabib. Put their numbers together, 63-0.
Yeah.
Jesus criminy. What the freak. 63-0. Insane. But hey, good stuff. I mean, it's wishful thinking, but it's fun to think about, but he ain't coming back. What else you got for us?
All right, everybody's seen the Canelo McGregor back and forth on X now. Do you guys think that we end up with a boxing match? Connor's also talking.
Well, you got to read it out so people at home can understand what we're doing. People that are listening to us versus watching us. So Conor McGregor says, "Saul, you uncooked chicken. I'll stomp the ligaments out of your knee joint." Oh wait, that's already after. There's another response. You read the first response.
So where's Canelo's? Oh, that's in response.
It was Conor actually who posted something, and then Canelo answered, and then
What, you act like a little.
It says it's a response, but I can't
go. Keep on going. No, you had right there. Stop.
Okay.
You just popped it back again.
So you want to
push that post again. Stop right there. Yes, that's Canelo Alvarez saying you act like a little kid. And
no, was the original one that came up before that one. So Conor had said something before that. They gave Canelo the response. They made Canelo respond.
Right, here, I'm pulling it up.
Dun, dun, dun. Come on, Dave. You're supposed to be
I had it. Pull it up.
It's because it logged.
I only texted to you.
Jamie doesn't have these problems.
Jamie doesn't have these problems. Jeez.
Get me on a $10 million budget.
Oh, dude,
well, then we can't get there if you don't do your job.
Well, yeah, really. Jesus, yes. Let's not talk about the money that people have lost here. All right, geez. Password. Oh, now we're entering a password. This is good. This is right on top of it.
Sure is.
So he's talking about Canelo versus Floyd in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest performances in professional boxing this was. I landed more shots on Floyd than Canelo. I'd love another go.
And then
he said,
No, not him. Then it goes to Canelo. Canelo answers.
I just need one hand with you, and I don't need to throw so many punches.
He laughs. Sends like a laughing emoji.
Yep.
And
Saul,
then Conor,
you uncooked chicken. I'll stomp the ligaments out of your knee joint. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? I don't even need hands to end you. I'll kick you raw pink. Leave you looking like you were left out in the sun too long. Ha ha, freckle arse. I will see you and we will see. Canelo is a cornflake, no sugar.
And then Canelo replies the last time back.
His last one back at him is.
Scroll up, Dave.
Yeah,
Scroll up,
I'm
Dave.
bringing you over here.
You act like a little kid. You have a big mouth and you know how to talk shit well. But when the fight comes, you always quit. Ha 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 ha.
I mean, they're going back and forth on this. I mean,
yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I mean, it would. It's one of those. It's one.
Smoked.
Look, I know
He will get smoked.
I'm still a firm believer that Floyd Mayweather bet on himself to take Conor out in the 10th.
Oh, no doubt in my mind.
And when he bet on himself, he's like, look, I'm going to make so much money. Because, look, I remember those odds. I remember those odds being, as the fight went on, and I was doing prop bets at that time. And I still do prop bets. But betting, based on what round the fight would get finished, that round was going to make a lot of money had it went to the 10th. It made more in the 11th than the 12th. But, I mean, I think he was just like, look, if I go on too long, whatever, I think he bet on himself to get him out of there in 10th, and he knew what he was doing. I mean, he carried it a little bit. He just had to avoid the big shots. Yeah. And he got him out of there. Impressive stuff. But Canelo doesn't have that type of mentality.
No.
Canelo
will try to take his head off.
Yeah, you're out of here, dude. I want to show the world you don't belong in here with me, and I want to get you out of here quick. You know, may fill you out in the first round, but that second round, I'm done with you. I'm done. Let the world know what level you really are. You'll never get back in a boxing ring again. There's certain fighters that are just built that way.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
look, they have no desire to be your friend and to carry you and to make the world feel like you're better than you are.
This is where Floyd was a thinker. What was Floyd always thinking about? Money. How do I make more money? Okay, he's shown what was important to him, and that's all good. But I just look at it as like, Connor, don't big mistake, won't happen. Well, I hope everyone enjoys the UFC that is coming up. It's going to be a fantastic show. But before that, on this show, we have got a fantastic interview with Bobby Green. He was a little bit toasted, just a little bit high when we were talking to him, but he was fun and he was real. And it's one of the things that I love about Bobby Green. So I hope you enjoy our interview with the King, Bobby Green. Well, now we are lucky enough to have a guy that is absolutely on fire in his last couple of fights. He fights so much. That's one of the things I love about him. And he's one of the best guys you could ever meet. We have got Bobby Green here with us. My man, what are you doing sitting in the car? You got to be in the car to talk to us.
I'll be so busy, man. Y'all caught me in the middle of something. One of my cars broke down. And so I had to stop by my mechanic's house real quick and to get him to work on my shit. Nice. So just caught me in the middle of it. You guys said 2 o'clock, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, you can go 20 minutes. I'm like, fuck it, let's just do it.
Well, hey, we were talking off air. We were talking off air, John, before you came on, because John was late as normal. So then, and by the way, it's John's birthday today. Big John's birthday today. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday,
fucking
fucker.
Thank you, brother.
74 years old, man. He looks good, huh? Bobby.
74 fucking
Many
years
do,
old.
many do.
He looks good. I told Bobby I was 45. He didn't believe me. John?
Yeah, you are 40. Dude, I'll tell you what, that's probably the first time he has actually given the true age. He always says he's 50. He is 45, just turned 45.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, there's no fucking way.
There's no way that you fought a man that was that old. You would have had more respect for your elders.
Man, yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Bro.
And so I'm like, that's 8 years older than me. And I'm like, how does that play out? So that means that if I was 23, I was fighting him at 30. I'm like doing the math. I was fighting at 34.
Yeah, I was old, man.
Yeah.
No, I was like, then when we fought, I think I was 36 or 37. I think I was 36 when we fought. I was about to turn
36.
I was about to turn 37, I think.
Yeah, somewhere. Okay, there we go. That makes sense.
I was about to be 37. Yeah. Man, you were beating up on your elders, bro. What's up? Guys, show me some love.
And I was even saying that makes your career even doper. Like, I didn't know that was your age, so it's like that you're just like you reminded me with the whole keeping that shit going for such a long time. Where hey, I'm still fighting with young bucks at this time.
Yeah, I had a good career, man. I'm happy with it. I'm blessed with it. Everything was good. But man, look, I talk about my career all the time on this podcast. People don't want to hear my shit. Let's talk about you. You were off. You've been looking slick for a while now. You've been looking slick, and I mean, like you and I were talking off air. You normally don't like to do podcasts. You're like, but hey, I appreciate you coming on. That was one thing, and two is you're like you try to keep them as low key as possible. And I think that you have been looking so good lately. The win over Tony Ferguson, you got it back from me. I actually was like, thank you.
Hold it, a submission. Whoa, stop.
Like what? Like,
yeah, bro.
So the win for me, I was like, man, you got it back for me. Okay, I feel good about it. And then just look, everybody I think was kind of counting you out in the Grant Dawson fight, but not this guy. Okay, not these guys. I should say, not these guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, there you go.
I don't know. Okay, I got a clip, and that's what brought me. Got my. Somebody sent me a clip, and I'm like, oh, let me check this out. And so I'm like, okay, Josh is talking cool. Josh is talking up. Me and Josh just shared a battlefield, so I can get it. Like he understands my game and he gets it. Real recognizes real. But then John was like, yeah, Bobby, he can just take you. He said Dawson's got so many more advantages. I'm like,
whoa. You need to pull that one up because I never said he's got so many.
You can't take his left leg, but he gets right leg.
I
right leg.
did say you like giving the one leg, and that's true. You set people up with that.
He's here. He's here right now to talk shit to Big John, not to me.
Yeah,
I'm okay
like
with
it.
that. I'm okay with that,
Yeah.
bro.
I came from Big John today. I'm like, interesting. I'm like, watch this. I'm going to run southpaw. Just for that, I was going to run southpaw. That's why I ran up the southpaw stance. Because I want to see, like, hey, he said he's going to grab my right leg, so watch this. Get my southpaw leg out there and see what's up.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, you made incredibly quick work of a very good up-and-coming fighter, but that's the real question of we're watching you, and there's something about, and this is like what we're talking about with Josh. When Josh was 36, he was fighting you, and you had speed. You have not slowed down, and it's one of the amazing things that you're now of that age that when Josh fought you basically, and you have not slowed down at all. How is it you've maintained the speed?
I think it's the way we train. My head coach Sam Mason, great guy. He's in charge of all my striking stuff. He always make sure we're moving fast. Make sure those hands are coming fast. I don't train for slow or anything like that. Like the guys that will be doing like the slow shadow boxing. And I'm going fast and still keeping it realistic. There's a lot of things I don't know. Just the way we spar and we move, constantly every day, keeps you sharp.
Yeah, I mean, you look good. I'm looking at like, why is it that, or I shouldn't say why. How is it that you developed this style? Because when you and I fought, you moved a lot in terms of you kind of rolled your shoulders a lot. You kind of stand a little bit more square. Now you're a little bit more bladed. Now you kind of give like that lead leg, but then on top of it though too, you're using more of that style where you're kind of hiding behind your shoulder. Yeah. So like, but ask me this, like, where did this come from? Where did you develop it? Because you didn't really have this when you and I fought.
Nah, bro, I had that too. I think at the time when we fought, I didn't have Sam Mason as my coach. And so what happened was my dad, you hear a lot of videos, you see with my dad and stuff, and him got together. But before that, I was with another coach in Riverside. And so that coach me and him, we got high before my fights. Like I fought on 24 hours notice. And so he got high with me. I was like, man, after the fight, I was like, man, you got me high before the fight. You're probably not a good coach. So I left that guy,
You don't say. You don't say.
So then I went to the next coach and I ended up beating my dad. And so we started doing our thing there. We've been training for years. Everything have success. I fought you with my dad.
Okay.
And so at the time, he's more jiu-jitsu based. I trained with this guy, Sam Mason, some. But I hadn't really met Sam yet like that. So training like where I trained consistently with Sam. So then Jake went to jail. I met Sam. I told Sam, hey, my dad's in jail. He's going to be doing 2 years. When he gets out, I'm going back to him. But in that time, we could do business together. And I started messing around with them. They started teaching me how to strike. And I learned how to do all my striking and stuff. So then I learned all that stuff. Jake came back. He came back out of jail. And so now I'm like, hey, I got to go back to my dad now. We got money to make together, And so I went back to start training with him. That's when I fought you, is that, like, I had the stand-up from Sam, but then I started doing my own thing over here with Jake. And so I didn't have Sam in at that point. Then I ended up leaving Jake and going back to Sam, where I've been fighting this last, stint of where I've been, where I've been coming out with the striking and all that. It's coming from Sam Mason.
Can you tell me the story, though? DC tries to tell me this story. I want to hear it from you, though, because, when you hear things from DC, things can kind of get blown out of proportion somewhat. So DC said that you had called him and told him that you were looking to come to AKA, probably a month before you and I fought. Like, hey, I want to come up and train. He's like, let me check with Josh. And I told him you could come. I said, yeah. I said, Bobby can come. Yeah, for sure. And then then the UFC called me when Michael Johnson pulled out of my fight with him on 2 weeks notice, 10 days notice, whatever. And you took the fight. How did all that come about? Was that true? Was it not true?
So yeah, it's true. I don't know about the timing about all of it or how that works about the timing. I'm not sure. I smoked too much fucking weed, but I remember talking to him. I'm like, yeah, I'll come fuck with you, because I looked up to Cormier And I looked up to Jones. I looked up to all the black men that did it. You know what I mean? And so, like, I'm like, man, he got wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go there and learn some wrestling. Like, I got high school wrestling, but he got some wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so to get around that type of shit would have been dope, you know? I think that, like, at that time, I was just looking for a good gym that was, like, I thought I needed the big gym, you know? And have all these bodies and stuff. And then after that, at that point, like, I think somewhere around there, my brother got killed. That's the most thing. Like I was going to tell you, like, there's so many things important about your fight. Whenever I see you, I think of my little brother. You know, my brother got killed a few weeks prior to fighting you, and so I'm in this hard time. I can't pay for my funeral. The UFC pays for my brother's funeral for me. And then the fight comes with you, and so it was like a dedication to him. So it's symbolic of that too. When I fought you. So yeah, it was true, but I don't know the exact timing. But all I know is that I started getting cool with the Diaz's now, and I recognize, oh, you slept Diaz. And so I'm like, hey, I don't know if I can go over there now. It's like, it just kind of gonna make it hard for me. Like, I'm NDA, bro. I fuck with NDA. And so I was like, man, but now it made it to the point where I had to get you. And it popped up, you know? But I've always been cool with Cormier. Cormier's my dog, and I always wanted to train. But once that shit started happening, I was like, I don't know I can do that now. Like, I felt some way about it just like he felt some way about it, you know? It's the fighting shit, but some of those ones, when you get those ones, it's like, that one was a nasty
I ain't got nothing against you or Nick or Nate or whatever. I mean, Nick still says hi to me when I see him, but Nate don't even look in my direction. I don't know, man. But like, it's the fight game, man. Like, when we're older, like when you get to my age, it's so funny that I'm telling younger people this, John. I'm saying when you get to my age, you're gonna look back and be like, damn, you know, we shared a cage together, or you're gonna be like, damn, I used to train with him.
No, bro,
you know?
I think exactly how you think. Okay, I'm not them. Yeah. Like, because to be honest, I felt kind of weird just taking the phone call. Like, I mean, to even do it. But I said, like you said, we shared a cage. When I shared a warrior. Cases and wear shit with you, I'm like, I'm a different type. I'm like, bro, that shit's significant to me. That actually means something to me. You know, it's like I got art pieces in that, and to be honest, you're a part of an art collection to me. You know, it's the Josh Thomson. You know, some of my fights the Josh Thomson. Cool. You know, and so in your fight, I want to tell you, like, everybody asked me about, like, what's the hardest fight you ever had? You know, and I go, man, they're all different in different ways. You know what I mean? And I can't say somebody's harder than the rest. Like, there was things that I maybe went through physically more here, but there was other things I battled mentally over here or something, you know? Like, so for the significance with you is your fight is you were the most brainy, you know, the most thinking fighter that I fought, you know? I could see your mind the way it was working. You were like, all right, I'm going to try this. I'm trying this combination. I'm coming off this way. All right, now I don't think I'm having success with that. Now I'm going to try maybe go head kick up because it seems like his hands are low. So I'm going to try head kick up. I'm going to try do this fake to a shot now. You were thinking so many different approaches to finding my weakness, you know? And I can see, oh, shit, he's going, now he switches game to do this. Now he switches game to do this. I'm like, oh, shit. He keeps changing the plays, and I got to react to, oh, I know what you're doing now. Oh, you got to try this now. Yeah. And so you were the most thinking fighter. I'm like, fuck, your plays keep changing.
Yeah, he burned that ability out because all that thinking, he used it all up early because now he doesn't think at all. I'm just telling you.
No, that hits is settling in.
Yeah. And a lot of them are from you, man. What the hell? It was that speed. It was that speed that got me at my old age. You were beating up on the old people. All right, but hey, let's move on past our fight and stuff. But let's talk about what's going on with you. You know, I think you're having a lot of success right now. You know, big win over Tony, big win over Grant Dawson. I mean, where do you see yourself right now in that UFC fold? I mean, are we looking to make that one more title run, maybe even two if we can squeak it in there? What are we looking? Where is your mind at? What you're looking at?
Or do you care?
Yeah. That's great questions, guy. I feel like kind of like mixed feelings. Like, one, I feel like I'm more of a BMF guy, you know, and meaning that, like, I'm trying to be above the belt. And to be honest, my numbers, if we want to do the numbers, no disrespect to your boy, but I could outdo the numbers of Islam. I could outdo the numbers. And so it's more so about having that buzz, having that the people, being with the people and being connected with your crowd and what you're doing, your following, more so than anything else. That's one thing. But two, I also feel like, I do want to kind of do the belt thing because people feel like you're not worthy until you've hadn't been in title contention, So I have mixed feelings.
I mean, you said belt, but are you looking at more towards like the BMF, or are you like put me out there. I want to get that fight. Or try to get that.
Oh, that's the last thing I'm saying. I don't even focus on that. I focus on my bucket list. Okay, I'm like more of a fun guy than like the guy who's so serious. You guys are too serious.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this career, and I think they're gonna get this title run and get this. And I'm like, man, the title will come. My skills speak for themselves. At the end of the day, I'll always show my skills, and my shit's fun. It's wild. It's entertaining to watch.
I mean, like, look, we know your skills.
I'm more so focused on the fun stuff, though. Like, I'm focused on the Ultimate Fighter. If I can do the Ultimate Fighter, having a main event, those things were more important to me than focus on those title things. But like I said, there's a bit of me that can say yes. I do want to start focusing more on the title run, and so I'm going now for the top 10 guys and getting closer to that. Also, just to show my legitimacy, more so than anything, is that I'm tired of feeling like people are like, "Who are you? Who are you?" It's more about those things that are important than the belt shot, guys. Is that I'm more of a household name where people actually respect your work. But I hear that all the time because, you're in the top. You're not even top 15. Or no, you're just 15 now. And so I have to be somewhere around top 10 so at least I can have credibility, even though I've been top 10 already before.
Yeah.
Bobby, you've been fighting for a long time. I know you don't remember this. Who was your first fight? Do you even remember?
Yeah, Neil Abrams.
There you go. And Neil Abrams had come over.
I never forget, it's your guy.
He came over to my gym that year, and we had no idea about your abilities or anything. And I went and watched, and I was like, "Oh shit, this dude's way too good for Neil." It was like,
what you see me
it was. You were so fast. I said we hadn't seen you anywhere. That was the whole point. And then I was watching the fight, and I was like, "Oh man,
okay.
You were so fast." And I was like, "Oh, you're way too fast for Neil." Yeah. And it was so. But you have fought everywhere, and you have been a mainstay now in the UFC. And looking at, here's the one thing I've always looked at 155. You're not that big of a guy. Have you ever thought about going down to featherweight?
You say I'm not big, but maybe
no. I said you're not that big.
I don't know.
Compared to guys like Islam. Islam's a big 155er.
What do you think he walks around at?
Oh, I know what he walks around at. He walks around
185,
90 to 92.
I'll hit that too. And I don't know if I'm just being a fat ass. I don't know if it's just a fat ass.
No, I think what John's saying is that actual body frame wise, you're not a huge guy compared to some of the lightweights that are big.
You really have to get a
guys.
dietitian and nutritionist and really get seriously dialed in. And
okay, hold on. What's wrong with being serious?
Because you guys are too serious.
No,
fuck that. I'm enjoying life. I'm gonna have fun.
I love it. Hey,
life. I have to be serious too. I'm somewhat serious, but it's like, that's too serious, bro. Like, I don't even know. I might die trying to make fucking 45s. Fuck that.
Okay, if you're gonna die, don't do it, man.
Bobby, you brought up a good point though. Like how old are you now? 35? 37. You're at that stage, kind of like where I was at the end there, where it's the fights that motivate you the most, right? The ones that really get you up out of bed. Those are the ones you're looking for right now. Now, if that gets me chasing the title, then that gets me chasing the title. Like for me, it was the guys that I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight Donald Cerrone. I wanted to fight Anthony Pettis. I wanted to fight these guys when I got to the UFC that everyone kept telling me I couldn't beat when I was in Strikeforce. And when I got there, they were never given. It was never an option for me to fight them. They never offered me to fight them. But
They didn't want to play that role to you.
Yeah. So then with you though, when I'm looking, pull up those rankings again for me there, Dave. When I'm looking at Dan Hooker. I'm looking at Moicano. I'm looking at maybe Jalen Turner. I mean, I know you've already fought Fiziev, but you and Fiziev, I'd like to see that rematch because, you started to take over in the third round. I'd like to see that as a main event. I know he's got a knee injury now. He's out, I think, for a bit.
Yeah, I think he'll
be out for a bit. But those are that type of fight. Look, I got to be honest. You and Michael Chandler, to me, would be a fucking great, fun fight. Your takedown defense, his ability to take shots, and the way you make people miss, and the way he loads up on shots, you can make him miss and make him pay. I think stylistically, he's a great matchup for you. I'm looking at some of these guys.
Agree. I never thought about that. I know he's waiting up for his little Chandler. For his Connor fight. So he's holding on, trying to hold on to his lucky ticket.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna do this fight in December. Kind of sit back, look at the landscape, and see what happens, what plays out. Looking at 300, and who's gonna be the perfect opponent for 300.
Yeah.
Like I said, those are my list things. Put me on 300. I'm not really tripping. Like the opponents like that. Like you guys keep saying, like pick these fights. I'm not picking anything.
No.
For the most point, it's about getting my goals done. My goals are outside of the cage, not inside the cage.
Yeah.
Which means
what are the major goals outside of the cage for you right now?
I got in this game to get a home, and then somewhere in there, I put the home under my girl's name, and now whenever we would fight, she would kick me out of it, and so I had to buy another home. So I bought another home, and then I started having more kids. So I have 3 kids now. So I bought another home. I have 3 kids, 3 homes. My goal is to pay them all off, and I'm all paid off with them, so that they're good. And this is my dad's gift to them,
Yeah. Hey man, those are good goals. I mean, that's exactly what you got to do. Just
so
keeping.
I keep touching this mat, the closer I get to my goals, and that means if I have to keep fighting whatever's. I took the Dawson fight thinking, hey, I didn't even know who Dawson was, but it's just more so getting those touches, keep getting those touches.
What was it? What was the? You guys seem to have a little bit of a talking back and forth, and you were saying something to him, and he was trying to say, no, I respect you. What was going on there?
Man, that was the most awkward face-off I've ever had in my life. It's like, fuck. So the thing was about Dawson was I was trying to have a good fight with him. He said something about me that kind of that's kind of interesting. He said, I know Bobby Green, and the whole time he's going to have nothing but respect for me. So I'm like, man, cool. I like this guy. I want to show him my good side and be good and just have a great fight. And show him just skills for skills. I'm going to beat you skill for skill. But then you were just saying different things as he said, I'm here for a check. I'm not here, he's going to just dominate me. But he also said, the one thing that got me was he was in the cage hitting mitts. And when he was hitting the mitts, he was talking to me. And he was like, what's up, Bobby? I got you right there. What are you going to do now, Bobby? And talking shit to the mitts. So I'm like, interesting. I thought you were a good guy. You're a good guy. And I'm a good guy, but we're supposed to be good guys. I haven't said nothing bad about you, like that. So then I felt like he was visualizing that. He was going to make that happen. So when I went up to him finally, I was trying to tell him, hey, we're supposed to be just cool. We're supposed to have a good fight. But then I saw the video and you were talking like that. And I wasn't there. You were calling my name. And you were just talking to me. But I was nowhere around, brother. So I hope that you're planning on doing that in the cage. That would be really sick if you do that. Please do that. And so he was like, bro, you're a nice guy. You're a nice guy. What are you doing? You're a nice guy off the camera. You're a nice guy. I'm like, why do you keep playing me with this nice guy role stuff? I'm like, yeah, I'm a nice guy. But that ain't got shit to do with this.
Yeah.
We're going to fight. And I'm going to fight try to fuck you up.
You got to
so
make
it ain't
that money.
Nothing to do with friendship. And then after I will hug it up, I told him that after the fight. I'm like, bro, before the fight, fuck all that touching gloves with you and trying to be buddy with you like that. We can be buddy as soon as we finish this shit. We'll hug it up. If I sleep you or you sleep me, I'll hug you after this shit. Like, bro, good shit. Fuck it, we're bros now. We spread that. We did that. We fucking killed it. We did a great show. Hug it up, bro. All right, cool. That's what I'm saying. I don't beef. I'm cool unless they want to keep that shit going.
When I'm looking at your career, and when was it though when you decided, you and I were talking off air, but I want you to tell everyone else, when was it when you realized that you can't make money unless you fight? And so the more active you are, which you did during COVID, you were probably the most active fighter in the UFC at the time. You were fighting all the time. And where did you get that from? What was the idea and the ideas behind hey, let me just fight as much as I possibly can and make as much money as I can?
I was watching Chris Lieben. I was sitting at the house one day, and Chris Lieben was fighting, and then I was like, "Hey, didn't he fight like a couple weeks ago?" And they were like talking about it on the thing, Yeah, he just fought him, and he's fighting again. I'm like,
Yeah,
interesting. I'm like, hey, if I could go back to back like this guy, I can make some money. I don't care if it's little money, but if you keep doubling these things up, tripling these things up, they start adding up to some shit, So people look at me with my jewelry and like, oh, you're so flashy, all this money. I'm like, man, I just ran it back so many times that I could have a little fun. Where I got so many bonuses. Like they saying Gaethje guy's 11. I think I have like 10 right now, 9 or 10. Like, I'm like right behind him. So it's like, bruh, I got extra little money. I earned it, to do these little things and buy myself a little nice thing.
Well, you got to figure you fought during COVID. You fought Clay Guida, I believe was first. I might be wrong there, but I think it was Clay Guida. And you fought, I think 2 months later, you fought Lando Venata. Then you fought Alan Patrick a month after that. It was just 1 month after the other. You were going. Yeah. Was that difficult for you, or did it actually help you as far as kept you in that mode and that fight game mentality?
I'm gonna try to answer the best way I can. I just answered the interview. I'm smoking a blunt and shit. I feel like sometimes I smoke too much.
It's all right. You keep smoking.
Yeah, I feel like I smoke too much. I'm gonna die if I don't stop. And so if I get really busy with fighting, I can't smoke. So if I stay busy, then I'll keep fighting, and it's like I'll be healthy and I'll be good.
Yeah.
As soon as I start smoking, I get out fighting, I get all fat and out of shape, and I feel all depressed. Like, man, I'm all fucking fat now. And so I don't know. I just be like, if I keep fighting, I'll be healthy and I'll be in shape and I won't smoke as much. But if not, I'll be smoking my ass off and like coughing up a lung, and I'm like, bro, you're gonna fucking die. But actually, I keep doing it anyway. So I don't know.
Well, when I look at the rankings, man, when I'm looking at these guys, like, is there anyone in that top 10 that you're really looking at? Because I know you were kind of shooting back and forth a little bit with Dan Hooker. What's the beef with the two of you guys and him?
Ain't no beef at all. Ain't no beef. My coaches mentioned him. I said, somebody mentioned him. Everybody's like, oh, who's called who out? I called him. And this is my coaches mentioned that. I was like, okay, cool. And be honest, I'm kind of like in all of his shit. Like, he has some dope ass classics, He has some dope ass classics. So be honored to share a cage with him and do a dope ass classic again. That's just going to be hard, And that's why I picked him more so than anything. I want guys to do dope ass fucking classics, Where I'm like, damn, this fight, I got potential to be fighting night every time I go out there. I'm getting the extra 50 G's,
Okay. I mean, because I look at
bump that shit up and then move it up. Like, inflation is crazy right now. Like,
especially where you're living.
It ain't the same 50 G's from 25 years ago.
No,
we need to bump this shit up.
It ain't, man. I moved out of California into Texas now, and it's like everything's. I paid $2.74 for gas the other day.
Bro, I'm still in fucking California.
I know.
He's fucking kicking my ass.
You're paying what, $6 a gallon right now?
That's why you got to keep fighting, man. To put all that gas in the tanks, man. It's
crazy.
It's not easy.
Yeah, I bought a house in Vegas to move away from that, so I'm gonna be half the year in Vegas, and half the year in California.
Very good. Make
sure you get a good accountant to file both taxes, though. Don't mess around with that. I mean, look, you're coming. You're 37 years old. You're coming up on, like, how many more fights do you have left? And like, are you looking at, like, is there a time frame you're looking for? Or you can just keep fighting till the wheels fall off?
I do want to get out of this bitch healthy. That's the key part. But we all saying this shit a little too long. Like Michael Bisping, I talked to him, and I'm like, Mike, like, if that's what it takes to be a champion, I don't know if I want it, big dog. You're like, to lose an eye? Like, some shit I didn't sign up for. It's like, my nigga, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'm not losing no eye over this shit,
I agree.
I fucking love fighting, but fuck. I'm not losing no eye over this. I'd rather work in a fucking warehouse before I lose an eye.
Yeah, I feel you.
Okay, hold on. I'm just going to say this, and this is just the truth. Michael Bisping he is a dog and he's a great fighter and a tough son of a bitch. But he got hit more in one fight than you've been hitting your entire career.
Yeah.
Mike took some abuse.
Yeah, the way you roll, the way you move,
the way
that's why I'm able to do this thing so consistently. And I explained it to a lot of fighters, but like I've offered even to train. Like I don't fight like the average guy. I'm not, and I try to train all my fighters to not take damage. We got to get out this thing with our health. Okay, the money's not that good, and so you got to be able to do this often enough to keep your health and be strong and be on top of yourself. You know, to keep this pedigree, just to make the money to live. You know.
When you're coming up, you've had 45 fights, I want to say
47.
Okay, Did you think that your career would go that long?
I told myself I was going to walk away at 40. I told myself at 40, I'm going to delete all social media. I'm going to disappear into the shadows and be a fucking nobody again. But then I realized, like, man, I got these kids now.
Little suckers.
I got to pay for people.
Yeah. I got to still be a good daddy. And so my goal is just to hit. The goal is pay the houses off and be done. But the issue is I can't just take the money out of my business account and go, hey, all right, I made $400,000. Here's my $400,000 in debt. Pay it off and be done. No, you can't just pay it off to your business. You got to actually pay the taxes on that, pay yourself, do this, and then my own personal money I have to pay this and that. And I can't do too much because the women want to put child support on me, and then I have to show I make too much. And it's like a crazy fucking storm that I have to deal with, brother. So it's a jungle. I mean, it's a fucking mess just to pay off the fucking houses. That's all I want to do. Is just win the fight, take the money, and pay the houses. But I can't do that exactly.
Hey Bobby, I'm gonna. This will be my last question, but I want to get your take on what you think of Sean Strickland in terms of his fighting style and just in him is.
Yeah, because y'all said that shit.
Yeah, I want to hear
Everybody's been saying that shit. Everybody's been saying it. Like he's got that, the Philly shell. Like you said, I kind of fight like Sean. Hey, hold up. No, back that shit up.
Here it comes.
Sorry, my bad.
Listen, my dad's a black belt, right? My dad's a black belt. My dad's a black belt under his coach, under his jiu-jitsu coach. You know what I mean? That he was going under. And so they didn't have real strikers or nothing like that. They were just a jiu-jitsu school. So my coach would take me over there to train with Sean. I'm a 55er. Sean's an 85er,
Yeah.
And so I would beat his ass up. I beat him up. But the problem is he's so big, for one. Two, I used to do these things to him. I'd be over in the corner, whoa, doing that shit like that. I'd be over there just talking to him in the fight, just having a conversation while we fighting and shit, And Sean would get so pissed off. He'd get so mad and say it was disrespectful. It was this and that.
No.
We just bump heads. We just bumped heads with each other. But he was the only guy at the time that like I was only one of the guys that he can get to come over, give him good sparring. So then finally from there, Sean started coming train over in Millennia. He started training with a buddy of mine, Lorenz Larkins. Lorenz Larkins and I trained. That's one of the guys who was responsible for my stand-up too. So really, Lorenz started both of us. So Lorenz had the style. And then from there, we both kind of trained from him. I used to go over and train with Sean first. And then Lorenz came on later on. And that's where he got the Philly shell from. Lorenz will run it too. If you watch his fights, he runs it too. And so we both fight like him. We got our styles from him. And so we run that Philly shell shit. And I started doing it to him. The crazy part about it, at the end of the story, is Sean would get so mad and call me all this. But this is all the shit Sean does now. He talks shit in the cage. He runs his mouth. He fucking runs the Philly shell. He stole my whole swag, He stole all my swag. And I was like saying this years ago. Like, bro, you stole my whole swag. Like, bro, this is my shit. I've been doing this, and now you're doing it. Like, you used to hate me for this. Now you do it. What the fuck?
Hey.
Obviously, it's working.
It is.
It's working, baby.
I called it. I called it. I was like, man, Sean's been fighting with real niggas. Like D. Lorenz. He used to say it in practice. He would say, man, none of the white guys want to ever train with me like that, like, because they know he fucks shit up. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean want to train with you? He's like, well, only you guys. I'm like, who's you guys? You black guys. He does that. No filter.
He got no filter.
You know,
no.
niggas, you know, he'll just say it.
But when you guys are boys, man. Like when you get out there, like it just the training happens. You guys share the mat. You guys share, getting punched in the face, all that stuff. You shed that blood together sometimes, and then the sweat and everything with it.
Yeah, I got
it all mixes
together. But success,
Yeah.
Yep.
But
so you guys are cool.
Make that shit clear. You
guys are cool now,
guys. I started the Philly shell shit. Like,
are you sure you don't fight like Sean?
Are you sure you don't fight like Sean?
I was doing the Philly shell shit. I brought the shit to the UFC like that.
Yeah,
I love it.
Oh man! All right, well that's
Bobby. Just want to tell you thank you very much for your time, brother. You are awesome. You are always a delight to talk to, and you make us laugh. And you smoke another blunt for us, there, baby.
Oh yeah, I got you. I appreciate you for having me on the show, Josh. You're a warrior. I spread this. I had the honor of sharing the cage with you. You know what the fuck really be going on with this shit behind the scenes because you actually have the experience to see it and actually experience it. So I appreciate that, bro. You guys are the man.
Hey, man, I got a lot of love for you, man. I always try to talk as highly as I can of you, and I'm proud of what you've done in your career, brother. It means a lot to see you have so much success. You're doing it right. You're doing it your way, which I love. And look, next time, when you have your fight announced, I want to try to get you back on and one less blunt.
Don't be mad. Don't be mad if I don't pop up, okay, guys? Listen, like Ariel does the same shit. Ariel wants me on all the time. And I'll just hey, he'll hit me up and I'll just kind of ignore it. I won't even answer. I was just like, man. And then I hit him up weeks later and shit after the fight or some shit. I'm like, man, I'll do your shit now. I'll do it now. Or I'll do it this one. I'll just do it every once in a while. I don't want to because I'm high as shit and I rant and I just feel like I talk too much. I'm like, man, fuck that. I'm just stay in the shadows. I'm in the shadows, guys. I really don't need this shit or nothing like that. I just be doing my job. It's fighting. It's shit cool. But I'll pop out and lanky laugh and be cool. But really, I'll just be like, bro, I'm like a down to earth. I'm a poor man who's just trying to get by. I don't need all that.
You're doing great.
Fame and shit like that.
Bobby, I hate to tell you, man. I'm gonna call it now. You're Bobby the Shadow King Green now.
Hey, man. I wish you nothing but the best, and let us know when something else comes up. I'd love to get you back on before your next fight or right after.
Yeah, it should be going December, bro. I'm trying to get in December. Hopefully they call me. I'm waiting. If they don't call me, I'm gonna start smoking my brains away. So.
I got fingers crossed for that. I got fingers crossed for that Dan Hooker fight, man. I'm looking forward to that.
Hopefully it's gonna be Dan. Hopefully he'll step up, but we'll see.
Best of luck, brother.
I really appreciate.
Take care.
Sounds good. Best of luck to you, brother.
Boom.
Well, I know some of that was a little difficult to watch. The camera was going all over and everything was kind of happening there. But we want to thank Bobby Green for spending time with us. He is a good man. He has been fantastic for the sport. You guy that you spent time in the cage with. What more can you say about him? Good fighter, good man. What more do you want?
I mean, he does what he got to do, man. He goes out there, he promotes the fight, he performs, he's an entertainer, he understands where he's at in his career right now. He's looking for those guys that motivate him to get his ass up out of bed and get him to the gym.
He's at
and
that
that's
point.
important.
Yeah.
That's important, and I've said this I don't know how many times, time and time again. There's fights in my career that I wish I would have been offered. No matter how much I wanted them, I never was offered those fights. And I really believe those are the fights that would have shaped my career or made my career just different. Win or lose, it would have just been like, look, I fought all the guys that really motivated me, and whether I won or whether I lost. And I see Bobby Green, and he's going for that's where he's at right now in his career. Well, I only want the fights that motivate me. I only want the fights that I know are going to make good fights. The fights that are going to make the fans happy because I know it'll pull the best out of me. That's where you know where you're at in your career. When you've done everything you felt like you could do. Now I want that one little extra. I want that thing that really, really can define my career and how I feel about myself. Not for everyone else, but for myself. And I see that in him. And I appreciate it and I respect that a lot. So best of luck to him and hopefully he gets another fight here soon.
Yep.
So he can quit getting so high. But man, I got nothing but love for that guy, man. He's a good kid. He's a good guy. I say kid, but he's older now. But he's a really, really good guy, man. Really good guy. And a fantastic fighter. Looking forward to seeing him fight again. We're going to wrap up on this show with a little funny something going on that I saw. It's going to be more football related, but It's between Eli and Peyton Manning, and it was funny. I came across it on the ESPN app. Go ahead.
Everyone's got special gifts. You want me to take it?
Yeah, I want you to read it, but it's Eli. It's Peyton Manning talking about Eli.
Talking about his brother Eli. And it says, most people don't know that Cooper was the most talented athlete in the family. I was the best in school. Eli was different. We didn't think he had the cognitive capacity to play football. So one time when we were kids, I took his tennis ball that Dad let him play with in the backyard. He became filled with rage. He picked me up and he threw me clear across the yard in a perfect spiral. I've never seen such strength. Dad called it his special power. So we taught him how to throw, taught him a few sentences, and sent him off to Ole Miss. The rest is history. I'm sure Eli really appreciates that from his brother.
Well, I thought it was great. He's like, Dad called it his special power. So we taught him how to throw and taught him a few sentences and sent him off to Ole Miss, and the rest is history. That shit was hilarious when he said he taught him a few sentences and sent him to Ole Miss. I'm sure Ole Miss didn't feel great about that.
No, they weren't happy.
So he could barely read, and you guys basically sent him to our college. Thanks.
Well, you're talking about one guy that went to Tennessee and one guy that went to Ole Miss.
Yeah, not like
he followed his father. His dad was at Ole Miss.
Yeah, but not like Tennessee was much better than Ole Miss. Dave, there's
just so you know, you watch your whore mouth.
Yes. Dave, there's one more thing I sent you. I want you to pull up the pictures of Paulo Costa's elbow that I sent you.
Staph infection. MRSA.
There is that. And while Dave's doing that, I want to show everybody this photo here. It says, looks dehydrated after USADA left. Paulo's juice isn't the secret sauce anymore. Here it is right here.
I saw that one. That was awesome. Connor's
so good.
Beefing, man. Look at it.
Look at that, though, on Paulo Costa's fucking elbow. That is disgusting. Yeah. If you see the video, they're pulling the gauze out of his elbow. Ugh. And that's so gross.
Yeah.
I mean,
seen it.
Do you remember the photos? Do you remember the photos of Kevin Randleman in the armpit?
Dude.
Right there?
Armpit into the rib cage. Yeah.
Oof.
Nasty.
Man, I've had staph a couple times. I've never had it that bad.
Well, that's not staph. That's MRSA.
But MRSA is a form of staph, correct?
You're right. But MRSA is worse.
Yeah.
And that's when it's...
You can die from both, but...
Yes, but MRSA's bad.
Yeah.
MRSA is a nasty infection, and he definitely got it. And,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, well,
disgusting.
That happens. Yeah. Well, what used to happen? Okay, the truth is, when MMA was first really coming out, and we were getting all these guys, Jeremy Horn being one, and all these guys, they were thinking everyone was getting bit by the brown recluse spider.
Oh,
everyone was getting these spider bites. If you remember, it was never a spider; it was MRSA. That's what everyone was getting.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
I remember people talking about the brown recluse.
Yeah,
the spider.
Yeah,
but the brown recluse does do that though, right?
It'll
not to this level, but it has a little bit of a flesh eating type. It festers up, right? It goes festers up, and then it starts to kind of eat the tissue from underneath. Yeah.
That elbow's not looking good. It's a good thing he didn't fight.
It's funny. Josh Koscheck one time was going to fight up in Idaho and Trevor Prengley's show up there, and Koscheck had like a little pimple on the back of his hamstring. And I drove him up to Idaho on Monday or Tuesday we left, and we drove through the night, got him there. He felt the pimple happening. He's like, he's like, it feels a little weird. He's like, it's just like a knot in there. He's like, I hope it's not fucking staph. By the time we got to Idaho 14 hours later, I had to take him to the emergency office.
Yep.
I had to take him to the emergency, and he fucking got antibiotics right away. He ended up not fighting, which kind of sucked. But, shit, man. It was crazy to see his leg swelled up real bad. They went to the doctor, got him on the antibiotics right away. They drained it, like basically just pulled out cleaned it all out, opened it, cleaned it all out. Disgusting. It wasn't quite this bad, but his leg was swollen. Yeah. It was gross. All within 14 hours. 14 hours.
Yeah.
Insane. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to wrap up our show, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This is a little bit of a long show. You got the full interview with Bobby Green, and pleasure, and thank you so much, Bobby, for coming on. We appreciate you guys. Go to WeighingInMerch.com, pick up some of our hoodies. Look at, I'm wearing a hoodie. I know it's not a Weighing In hoodie, but it's a Knox hoodie. But it is getting cold. It's getting cold up here. There you go. John has the Weighing In hoodie. I just gotta get them, man. I just gotta get them. I haven't got one yet.
It's called
I've got
order.
shirts. I've got shirts.
Put your card down. Boom. That's what I did.
Oh, you son of a gun.
All right. For everyone out there, we hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you enjoyed Bobby Green there, and thank you for tuning in, and we will see you.